Hello, my name is Paul Thomas Everett Cusick. I'm an engineer by education, but I do research in every field the universities teach in. My talk today is about philosophy, about the cosmos, the mind, and quantum mechanics, and deals with the mind-body problem, which has been an open question for centuries. In this important paper, we show that the human mind is broken free from the cause-effect relationship in the cosmos. It has its own cause and effect, as does the universe in quantum mechanics. We showed the statistical basis of quantum mechanics is brought into focus for position, velocity, acceleration, S, V, and A. The derivatives. The position is S, velocity is ds by dt, and acceleration is d2s by dt2, second derivative. As astrophysiology is shown to be where the position and velocity of a particle are equal. And it was held for a long while that in quantum mechanics that you couldn't know both the position and velocity of a particle at the same time. You could know either the position or the velocity, but not both. So here we show that it can be known when they're equal. So Laplace said that all future events could be predicted from knowledge of the present position and velocity of every particle. This isn't true because the human mind is free. In fact, I hypothesize that the equation governs the human mind, quantum mechanics, and the cosmos is the golden mean parabola. So we can model these three, quantum mechanics, the mind, and the cosmos, with a typical railway bridge where they are connected by a hinge or a point of zero moment. The zero moment breaks the cause-effect relationship between the three, but maintains it within the truss. So as a good civil engineer, I'm using my education railroad bridges. So the trusses are shown in the illustration here. So this is a bridge quantum mechanics. This is a bridge the mind. This is another truss, the cosmos, and they're all governed by the golden mean parabola. So the points of zero moment are between them here and here. Points of zero moment that don't transfer any moment. So we'll see in this next diagram we show this is the stress strain curve, which is a slope of Young's modulus, and the rupture point at the tip where there's no longer a linear relationship between the stress and the strain. The specimen breaks. So once it breaks or yields, you end up with a zero moment being transferred, so it becomes like a hinge. So this region of the stress strain curve is applicable within the truss, but once you reach the rupture point, the forces aren't transferred on to the other members of the next truss. So a few calculations, and so we'll let space and time equal. So space equals time, and we know that time is the kinetic energy, which is equal to 1/2 mv squared. We take v to be the speed of light, 2.9979 or 3 squared, times the mass. We know mass sociology is 4 times a half, 17.97, which is approximately equal to 18. So that is the kinetic energy. The potential energy is equal to mc squared, which is 4 times 9, which is 36. So the total energy is 36 plus 18, which is 54. You can add another 18 on for the space, because space and time are equal. We end up with 72 as the total energy. And when we divide that by 9, c squared, we get 8. So for the trusses, energy is equal to 1 over the time, which is equal to 1 over 1, which is 1. So energy and time are both 1. So if we take our golden mean equation here, t squared minus t minus 1 equals e, which is equal to 1. So we have t is equal to minus 1 or 2. The time can't be negative, so time has to be equal to 2. So the golden mean parabola governs the cosmos, the mind, and quantum mechanics. T squared minus T minus 1 equals E equals 0. And E is equal to the work times the time, which is simply equal to the work. Which work is force times distance, which is also equal to a moment. We know force times distance is a moment. And we have a structural hinge. So the mind is free from the cause-effect relationship of the cosmos. Indeed, it is a universe unto itself, we could say. And quantum mechanics is free from the mind. They are governed by the golden mean parabola. So the physiology of the mind, the brain, is set loose from quantum mechanics and set loose from the universe. So they're all governed by the golden mean parabola. The human mind evolved to sense the golden mean parabola pattern, which is everything's based on energy and time. And time is kinetic energy. So now for quantum mechanics, we have the wave equation up here. I'm sorry it's small, but I had to fit it in. Lambda is the wavelength is equal to the frequency times the velocity. The velocity is equal to the speed of light, which is 2.997, or 3, which is equal to distance over time, or s over t. And we know then that 3t equals s, and we know t is 2, so 3 times 2 is equal to 6, which is equal to s. And we know the period t, capital T, is equal to a quarter, or 0.25. We know that from astrotheology. And the frequency is equal to 1 over the period, which is 4. So going back to our wavelength equation, lambda is equal to 4 times 3, which is 12. And 12 divided by the space, the 6, is equal to 2, which is equal to the time. So lambda wavelength is equal to 2 times d, or 2 times s, which is equal to 2 times the space is 4/3, which is 8/3, which is 8/3 is a superforce. And that's equal to 1 over E, because E is equal to 1 over F. E equals 1 over F. Need new pen, I guess. So E is equal to 1 over E, which is 0.375. T squared minus T minus 1 equals 0.375. So T is equal to 1.77, which is the work. Is equal to the force times the distance, which is equal to the moment, which is equal to E. Now we turn to a bit of quantum mechanics. It is thought to be accessible to research. It is thought to be accessible to researchers through statistics. However, the universe is visible when the position, velocity, and acceleration come into focus. This means, typo there, that this means that they're lined up and the universe becomes visible. See Figure 3 for a plot of the Bell normal curves. So here we have Figure 3. It's the observable universe exists where S, V, and A, position, velocity, and acceleration, or the derivative and the second derivative are equal to the function, come into focus. This is when it is no longer statistical, but as was taught in quantum mechanics. So we have 3 bell curves. First one here is S, this one is V, and this one is A. So we have the statistical functions, but when they all come into focus, the means come into focus, then we have the universe. That's where it exists. What's going on outside of the means? I don't know. If they don't line up, maybe we'll never know. So here we have the wave equation again. The wavelength is equal to the frequency times the velocity. We know the velocity is equal to the distance over the time. We know the velocity is c, which is 3, which is equal to distance over time. And when it's statistical, we can say d plus delta d divided by t plus delta t. And ds by dt equals dt by dt, which is equal to v, which is equal to 1. ds by dt is velocity, dt by dt is 1. So 1 over 1 is 1. So velocity is 1. So c is equal to distance over time is equal to s over t. So 1 is equal to v over s, which is equal to 1 over t, which is equal to e. T squared minus t minus 1 equals e equals 1. T equals minus 1 or 2. So astrotheology is the solution to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So S is equal to V, or the function equal to the derivative. The eigenvalue is 3, which is the speed of light, c. The determinant for the universe is m is equal to 4. The eigenvector t is equal to root 3. And the eigenfunction, of course, is the golden mean probability t squared minus t minus 1 equals e. And the convergence series, the universe converges on pi. And when we plug pi into the golden mean parabola, we have pi squared minus pi minus 1 is 57.29, which is 1 rad. And when we plug root 3, the eigenvector at the time, into the golden mean parabola, we end up with root 3 squared minus root 3 minus 1 equals 2.679, which is approximately equal to 8/3 of superforce. So here there we have it again, and we have the second derivative of the Clairaut differential equations, the second derivative of energy with respect to time minus gravity equals 0. So we know that the golden mean parabola, the derivative is 2t minus 1, and the second derivative is 2. So we say 2 minus g equals 0, g equals minus 2. Change the sign, g equals, this should be plus 2, equals t. T is equal to 1 half mv squared, is equal to 1 half m times 1 over root 2 squared equals 2. M is equal to 8. We know mass is equal to the ln of t. So t comes out to be 2.98, which is approximately equal to 3 the speed of light. So we have the Beauty and God was the paper I wrote. The Mathematics of Beauty, and Beauty and God is another one I wrote. And the mathematical law of beauty is when y is equal to y prime. The function is equal to the derivative. So t squared minus t minus 1 is equal to 2t minus 1. That 2t minus 1 is the derivative. And t squared minus t minus 1 is the function. And t is therefore equal to 3. You plug 3 into this. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 1 is 5. Energy is 5. So we have 3 for t, e for 5. So we know that time is equal to kinetic energy, and E is the overall energy, and mass is potential energy, which is equal to 4. So we have a 3, 4, 5 triangle. Mass equals potential energy is 4, kinetic energy is T equals 3, and total energy is equal to 5. That's the 3, 4, 5 triangle. So Pythagoras, we can apply total energy squared is equal to the potential energy squared plus the kinetic energy squared. So we end up with T equals 5. T is equal to 1 over E. 1 over 5 is 0.2, which is proportional to G. So Poisson's ratio, we know from astrotheology mathematics, is 0.26. And that is the lateral forces over the axial forces, Poisson's ratio. So that's the lateral forces are the kinetic energy, we'll say. And the axial forces are potential energy. So we end up with 3 divided by 4/3, which is 2.25, which is almost equal to 0.26. And energy is equal to sine of 60 degrees when space is equal to time. And the total energy squared is equal to 4 squared plus 3 squared equals 24.98, approximately 25, which is TE squared. So TE is 5, which is 1 over 0.2. So 4/3 times 0.2 is equal to 8/3. Now potential energy is mc squared is equal to 4, mass is 4, speed of light is 3, 3 squared is 9, 4 times 3 squared is 36. Kinetic energy is equal to 1 half mv squared. This is equal to 1 half 4 times 9, which is 18. So space and time are equal to 18. 18 times 2 plus 36. The 2 is space and time. So time is 18. Space is 18. And potential energy mass is 36. All equal to 72. 72 divided by c squared is equal to 8. Mass is equal to the ln of t. T is equal to 2.98. So finally, we consider the hadron. Someone asked me about hadrons and how they fit in. He thought he should win a Nobel Prize for his paper on hadrons. But anyway, I think they're all way out to lunch on their physics. There's a new physics in town. It's called astrophysiology, and you can read it in the other papers I've written. So consider the linear differential equation y equals y prime. So that means, as we've seen, that t squared minus t minus 1 equals 2t minus 1. T is 3, E is 5. Total energy, the time is equal to kinetic energy, mass equal to potential energy. That's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. So for mechanics, we have motion. When we have motion, we have kinetic energy is 1/2 mv squared. 1/2 times m times 3 squared is 9 over 2 m. So we do a little aside calculation here that the period is equal to 1 over the frequency, which is equal to 1 over 0.25. Frequency is equal to 4. So the time is equal to 0.25. So time is equal to 9 over 2 from the previous slide times mass. 0.25 equals 9 over 2 times mass. Mass is equal to 0.0555, which is 1 over 18. 1 over the kinetic energy is 1 over the time, which is equal to the energy. Mass is equal to the ln of t. So 0.0555 equals ln t. T is equal to 1.057, which is equal to 1 over 0.9459595. And we'll see that when plugged into the golden mean parabola, yields the mass of a neutron, which is 939.565. So we're at 939.608. So within rounding distance, 4 significant digits. So we have the mass of a neutron. So hadrons make up neutrons. So the mass of the neutron times the period is equal to 375, which is equal to 1 over the superforce, 1 over 8/3, which would be 3/8, which is 375. And then total energy is equal to the potential energy plus the kinetic energy. So 1.5 mc squared, 1.5 times the mass, 0.0555, times 2.9979 squared, it's the speed of light squared, is equal to 7488, which is equal to 1 over 251, which is the period. And the period says that it's harmonic. So in conclusion, we see that the human mind is free from the cause-effect relationship. So the cosmos is separate as well. In quantum mechanics, each domain is covered by the golden mean parabola. So it all goes back to that railroad bridge. The mind follows cause-effect, but only within itself. The universe follows the cause-effect relationship, but only within itself. And quantum mechanics follows relationship, but only within itself. They're free from each other. There's no cause-effect relationship transferred to the moment, which is a hinge. And there's a reference, Issues in Religion and Science and Religion. It's a classic book by I.G. Barber. I recommend that book if you're interested in science and religion. So that's it. That's our talk for today. And I know it's a little boring going through mathematics, but it's necessary. And we all have to learn the language of mathematics at an early age. And if we don't get it when we're young, we probably won't get it at all. So it's very demanding, and it's stressful as a young person learning how to do long division and stuff, but it pays off if you learn it. Anyway, that's my talk. Thanks for listening, and I hope to have another talk available someday soon.